Part 82. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 811. Chapter 811, Doorway. Zhang Xiaoxiao dodged the attack of a red bat beast. This red bat beast was the size of an eagle and had huge wings. Red eyes, sharp claws, and especially a pair of blood-sucking mouths, which will blood whenever the opportunity arises. Zhang Xiaoxiao chopped one down with his knife, and a red crystal fell down. Humans have probably not appeared in the red flame battlefield for a long time. The monsters here are hungry, which directly causes the monsters living here to hate humans very much. As the saying goes, enemies are extremely jealous when they meet. When the two sides met, a fierce battle immediately broke out. Nearly everyone on Lu Fengming's side is an S+ warrior, although many of them are S+ warriors with only a second strength upgrade, and they are also extremely brave. There are nearly hundreds of bat beasts. Although their strength is not on the same platform as them, they can't stand the large number and their attacks are quick and agile. Especially what they saw. Those powerful and fierce bat beasts in their eyes were directly killed by Dr. Zhang like they were being cut into watermelons, without even the ability to fight back. Others are even more eager to give it a try. With the sword raised and lowered, the bat beast suddenly became vulnerable. Especially when Captain Landing and the others just rested and opened a hole in the bat beast, the entire team was not in an encirclement. Lu Jian and the others sent Monkey and Xiao and Xiaoliu to collect crystal stones on the ground. Red crystals were all over the ground, and the full-time crystal collectors from other teams were also there. Take a rest when you see them. They have disappeared and there is no trace of them. Lu Fengming asked the monkey. Where is Dr. Zhang? Let's go. Our Dr. Zhang said that you are too slow, so she took the first step. Let you keep up. If you disperse, you will be responsible for yourself. The monkey picked up the spar on the ground. What a good thing. Compared with the quality of the crystal stones outside, it is not even a little bit better. But Dr. Zhang said he didn't want it, so he didn't want it? The building manager will probably be heartbroken if I tell you. 2. Dr. Zhang can produce those good dragon crystals, which are rare. Zhang Xiaoxiao walked forward, and number 9 was chattering there. This is a branch of the red flame battlefield. Number 10 must have come here for the volcanoes in the red flame battlefield. The fire attribute here is rich, and number 10 likes it best, etc. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others saw a palace in front of them. It can no longer be regarded as a palace, it is in ruins. Half of the wall has collapsed, and the red wall here contrasts beautifully with the red earth and stone. It's just a bit bleak. There is no place where even an inch of grass grows, and a palace looks majestic and desolate. Lu Jian felt something was wrong. Captain Lu, let's send a few people to investigate first. Who knows what's weird here? Xiaoqi, Xiaoba, and Monkey went together. Watching them push open the half door and walk in. There was no movement for half an hour. Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly pricked up his ears. No, they're back. Their return is not, this is. Captain Lu wanted to think about what was wrong with them coming back, but he saw the 3 people coming out followed by a long line of monsters. The monkey ran very fast and howled. Run, run, this is a monster's nest. Lu Jian and Captain Lu were shocked when they heard this. Monster den. My scalp goes numb just thinking about it. Run. Then he ran out for 2 miles. Everyone was holding their knees and panting, but Lu Jian didn't forget to check the numbers. Are everyone here? Check to see if all your teammates are there. The monkey raised his hands tremblingly. Monkey. What the are you pretending to be? Who's not there? Who's not here? Who the is letting me off the hook at this time? I will never go back to look for him. So many people's lives were sacrificed for him alone? What a beautiful thought. You all remember this, and it will be the same in the future. Whoever dares to fall behind is responsible for his own life. Don't think about others catching up for you. Long Liojian cursed fiercely, and was so angry that he was left behind when he came to the fiery battlefield for the first time. This was not a slap in the face. Then the monkey spoke weakly. Captain, Dr. Zhang and Sister Yali are gone. What, who is missing, you say it again. Hao raised his voice in embarrassment. Dr. Zhang and Sister Yali are gone. Now we are missing both of them. Lu Jian and Captain Lu looked at each other and turned around with a growl. Go back to me right away. If anyone is left behind, I will fire him directly. Dr. Zhang, don't let anything happen to you. Lu Jian is going crazy. Captain Lu is the same, wishing he could have 6 legs now. Why can't it be faster? Lack of experience, there is no other way. They are usually responsible for fighting in battle formations. Who has nothing to do to form a bodyguard formation? No wonder they were in a hurry. Go back to the previous palace. Then the scene between heaven and earth made people's blood rush to their heads. Zhang Xiaoxiao stared at the palace gate without blinking, his eyes flickering. She was also very nervous when she saw so many S-level monsters at first. Even if her combat power has been enhanced countless times, she alone cannot be the opponent of those monsters. But she soon discovered that the group of monsters had no intention of breaking out of the palace. Hand, you can go to the palace gate. The dark red door at the palace gate seems to be a barrier. Monsters will never go too far. Zhang Xiaoxiao approached tentatively, and the monster was immediately ready to move, and it wanted to tear Zhang Xiaoxiao into pieces with its fangs and claws. But Zhang Xiaoxiao took a step back. Those monsters were full of ferocity and refused to come out. After the crazy temptation to seek death, Zhang Xiaoxiao had an idea. Sister Yali, stand in front of the gate. Remember not to cross the line. Zhang Xiaoxiao's words made Yali feel heavy. The problem with using her as a bait is that it's a lot of pressure. Stand in front of the door. One step away from reaching that threshold. The S-class ferocious beast in front of her caused her to fight. The monster in the threshold was attacking Yali regardless. The main target of the attack was Yali alone. When Zhang Xiaoxiao saw it, she felt relieved. That group of monsters should be quietly imprisoned in the palace. The monster is very strong, and Zhang Xiaoxiao is not weak either. He quickly attacks outside. The monster bares its teeth and claws at Yali, but the attack is completely ineffective. But Zhang Xiaoxiao's attack power was still too weak, mainly because no one could kill the opponent in a short time, even if he was S-level, and the battle entered a stalemate. When Captain Lu arrived, they saw this strange scene. Yuri stood motionless at the door like a stone sculpture. In front of her were a bunch of monsters, all of them S-class monsters. Zhang Xiaoxiao was playing with it behind him. Hear their movements. Who makes the monkey cry heartbreakingly when he sees Zhang Xiaoxiao? Dr. Zhang, I finally found you. Unless Zhang Xiaoxiao was deaf, he would not have known they were coming. It's good if you're here. Hurry up and get started. Remember not to take a step beyond the gate. Those monsters can't get out, but it's not certain if we go in. Captain Lu, and everyone got started immediately. With various attack methods, you can see the monsters inside the threshold falling down continuously. The only pity is that I couldn't get any of the crystals, they all fell inside the threshold. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 812. Chapter 812. Sleeping can also attract monsters. Captain, it's really strange today. Why are there suddenly so few monsters here today? Look at the red flame battlefield, there are no monsters at all. Dai pointed to the battlefield opposite. Meng Xian is also confused. Ignore other things first. No matter whether the monster beasts come out or not, we have to clean up this place quickly. If these S-level monster beasts don't kill them all quickly, who knows when they will come out later. Let some people save their energy first and rest where they are. The remaining people don't need to rest and clear the battlefield quickly. Meng Xian chopped down a black bear and was almost injured by the big claw. Over the past year or so, they have become accustomed to this almost numb fighting state. The main reason is that there are too many monsters in the Red Flame battlefield. S-level monsters are pouring out of the Red Flame battlefield almost every day. I don't know where so many S-class monsters came from. Now almost the entire battlefield they face is occupied by S-class monsters. If they continue to be squeezed like this, they humans will not even have room to survive. Let's not talk about supplies now, these soldiers are extremely exhausted. Working in 24-hour shifts, 15 teams change in every 6 hours. With such fighting power, everyone is tired and almost exhausted. An hour later, Wu Lei and others led the team in. Looking at the scattered monster beasts in front of you, go up. Just help them clean up all the remaining monsters. Fifth brother, what's going on? Is it difficult to take a rest on the Xian battlefield today? Meng Xian shook his head and could finally take a breath. Today had only been more than 5 hours of fighting, and almost the entire battlefield had been cleared. Even he himself didn't believe it. This is an unprecedented treatment. Don't ask me, I'm confused now. Look. The monster is out, hurry up. As he spoke, several monster beasts rushed out of the Red Flame battlefield. The two teams immediately went to end the battle quickly. Standing ready, they waited for monsters to continue to appear on the Red Flame battlefield. The result, 1 point, 2 points. An hour later, Meng Xian breathed a sigh of relief, drank some water, and ate a piece of bread. What's going on? Why are there no monsters here now? Only 3 or 2 of them have come out this hour. If we keep this speed, we can clean it up no matter how hard we clean it up. Meng Xian and Wu Lei exchanged opinions. This is too strange. Wu Lei is also strange. Captain Meng, no matter what, it's our turn to take over. You guys should go back first. If you come to take over again. This is still the case here, we can notify the base commander and quickly let all the teams enter the battlefield and start hunting, looking for supplies. Our supplies are in urgent need of replenishment. If we don't quickly use the monster's space to do these things now, there will be no chance. Meng Xian nodded, I'll go back and inform you now. As you walk back with people, you may encounter 3 or 2 monsters, but it is not a problem. Compared with the tide of monsters before, this is just a piece of cake. It's not even enough for them to chop down. One day one night. Base Director Li Mengqiang blinked. When he received the notice, he personally led the team to guard the palace gate of the Red Flame battlefield. In the end, for 12 hours, there were only 100 or 200 S-class monsters that rushed out of the Red Flame battlefield. This amount pales into insignificance compared with what it used to be. Li Mengqiang immediately notified his guards and quickly notified all the teams to enter the battlefield in order to collect supplies and clean the battlefield. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They have been persisting for more than a year, and everyone is in a state of exhaustion. I don't know how long I can hold on, but now I finally have a chance to breathe. The death squads here continue to guard the palace gate of the Red Flame battlefield. It was still the same the next day. It lasted 24 hours a day, which was probably their easiest task. In one day, they harvested the crystals of up to 200 S-level monsters. All teams were excited after receiving the news, and all battlefields between the 100th and 200th floors were opened. As long as the teams that can apply for qualifications have already entered the battlefield. Like mushrooms after a spring rain, all teams entered the battlefield and began to search for and accumulate supplies. Those low-level monsters almost suffered a disaster. They have never been so happy. It was still the same on the third day. It was still the same on the fourth day. Li Mengqiang, don't worry, although I don't know why this weird phenomenon occurred more than a year ago. But now it's back to normal, at least giving them a chance to breathe. Otherwise, Li Mengqiang felt that the space would be completely destroyed. According to this assembly line monster fighting model, they can clean up S-level monsters while replenishing various energy and supplies. On Zhang Xiaoxiu's side, Captain Lu and all the team members are already tired. We fought for 3 days and 3 nights in a row. And they come in turns. An open space. Everyone was sitting on the same spot crookedly. There are not even any bush branches here, so it is impossible to make a fire. If it weren't for the gas stove at Zhang Xiaoxiu's place, they probably wouldn't even be able to eat. At this time, 2 tents were set up. Those who were tired from fighting rested in the tents, while others who had regained their energy continued to attack the monsters. Jiang's small gas tank came in handy now. He lit the fire directly and released a big pot. Fortunately, in addition to the monsters here in the Red Flame battlefield, there were also many low-level monsters outside. They caught a few of them and actually found 2 that were edible. Zhang Xiaoxiao made another meal that was as fierce as a tiger's and served a delicious meal. Everyone had enough to eat and drink. When Chief Lu came here with the 3 teams, he was almost dumbfounded. There is a stark contrast between myself and that team. They encountered many group attack monsters along the way, and there were quite a few S-level monsters. They were being chased, and it was quite embarrassing. His whole body was covered in blood, and his clothes were full of holes. The result was not bad. It was like a holiday. They were sitting here leisurely. Everyone was eating and sleeping, and there were monsters fighting over there. It seemed like they were camping, and the S-class monster was really weird. Why did he just stand there and be beaten by them? After they had eaten and drank enough, they found a river nearby and took a bath. After calming down, they also began to use this fighting method to fight monsters. Not to mention, they discovered a strange phenomenon when they came here. Around the palace, there were no monsters approaching within 50 meters. This is like a restricted area. Under normal circumstances, if a person fights a monster alone, the attack power and defense power of the monster are much higher than that of a human at the same level. In other words, if it were a one-on-one fight, humans would definitely lose, but the method they used this time was simply shameless, putting an attack target there. Anyone can do it? Yes, Zhang Xiaoxiao has done experiments. Anyone can attract those monsters by putting them there. Stay at the threshold, as long as one reaches the threshold. It will immediately attract all the monsters to this place and stick them firmly to the gate. This is a little expert at attracting monsters. Xiao Wu is now lying on the ground tiredly. There is a coat spread on the ground, and Xiao Wu lies on it to sleep. You can also attract monsters while sleeping, who else is better? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 813. Chapter 813 Backdoor. 1 week. A full week. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others harvested the lives of countless S-level monsters at the entrance of the palace. Since the rest of them had nothing to do, Zhang Xiaoxiao took them directly to develop resources. Of course, it can't be in vain. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't take him to find resources, but number 9 discovered that No 10's aura seemed to be particularly strong here. Zhang Xiaoxiao came here for number 10. Since Yali was not with Zhang Xiaoxiao, Lu Jian and his team of 6 people volunteered to serve as bodyguards. After leaving the palace, Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly felt the ring on his finger burning a little while walking not far away, and number 9 was calling him desperately. Sister, sister, When you enter from here, I find that the aura of number 10 is very strong. The ring is flashing. What happened? When Zhang Xiaoxiao turned the ring to the northwest of the palace, the flashing frequency would become much faster. Is it possible to enter the palace from this place? Zhang Xiaoxiao's expression changed. No matter what, there's no good solution now. There are so many monsters surrounding the gate, and we can't get in, so we might as well give it a try first. Zhang Xiaoxiao quickly told Lu Jian and the other 6 of her thoughts. Ever since Zhang Xiaoxiao saved his life, Lu Jian has been almost obedient to Zhang Xiaoxiao's words. Others had benefited from the dragon crystal from Zhang Xiaoxiao, and they were all willing to give it a try. Of course, they all agreed to give it a try. The group of people walked in that direction, and after twists and turns, they came to the back of the palace. Unlike the main entrance of the palace, which is ruined and unbearable to see, there is only a small door at the back of the palace that can accommodate 2 people passing through at the same time, which looks even more shabby. The door is crooked and the plaque has fallen off. It is just propped on the ground, and it looks like it will fall down if you are not careful. So we found a back door, but it's different from the front door to get in. Hao curled his lips, a little disappointed, and when he saw Lu Jian staring at him, he stuck out his tongue in embarrassment. I almost died when I went in and was chased. There was really a tidal wave of monsters inside, and they were all S level. Think about how I feel. I'm thinking about everyone. Otherwise, if I start running away in a while, I'll be in embarrassment. I think the back door is good. Maybe it's our luck. The monsters have gone to the front door. Now Human is naturally beautiful and there are no monsters. Think about it, we can go through the whole palace as we please. Isn't this a proper way to go through the back door? Lu Jian was worried that the monkey's words would make Zhang Xiaoxiao unhappy, so he deliberately said it teasingly. Liven up the atmosphere. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at him funny and ignored the monkey. Push open the back door and go in, holding dirt in your hands. With a creak, the back door slowly opened, revealing a backyard surrounded by white mist. After entering, we will act separately. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at everyone and said. Not good. Lu Jian answered readily. After entering the palace, Zhang Xiaoxiao's safety was involved, and it was really difficult for them to separate. Well, if you encounter danger, leave me alone and run faster. I have a way to save my life. Zhang Xiaoxiao motioned to Lu Jian and the others to follow him and stepped into the back door first. Monkey, follow up quickly. Oh, here it comes. The monkey hurriedly followed, and Lu Jian glared at the monkey. Give him a lip shape. Protect Dr. Zhang, or else I'll make you look good. The monkey made a begging gesture, so Lu Jian let him go and followed him immediately. After entering the back door, the first thing that catches the eye is a backyard with fields opened up in the yard. There are still a lot of wheat seeds left in the fields, but these wheat seeds seem to be dead, which makes them feel heartbroken just by looking at them. Through the backyard, there are palaces. The palaces here are very different from the ruins they saw outside. They are actually magnificent. Looks a little out of place. Zhang Xiaoxiao passed by these places without going in, and walked quickly towards the east of the palace. Number 9 is chirping to remind himself of his position. She doesn't care about other things. She cares about number 10. Monkey Lu Jian and the others were a little eager to try and see what was in the palace, but when they saw Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't stop, they all quickly followed Zhang Xiaoxiao. After passing through the palace courtyards one after another, Zhang Xiaoxiao and his group of 7 arrived at the easternmost part of the palace. Different from palace buildings in other places, the palace is in the far east, and you can see a forest of stone tablets with no end in sight. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others were walking quickly through it. The forest of stone tablets is not dark, but there is always a feeling of heat hitting your face. Each stone tablet is inlaid with many red beads. Dr. Zhang, What is this? It's the red flame bead. How does Zhang Xiaoxiao know? There is a well-informed 9. Red flame pearl, Dr. Zhang, this is the 9th red flame pearl, can we pick some out and take them away? Seeing these beads, Monkey Lu Jian and the others couldn't help but feel hot in their hearts. Anyone who didn't want to pick a few out and take them away would be a fool. But seeing that Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't stop, he even asked Zhang Xiaoxiao for his opinion. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked back and said, "Go ahead. You continue here, but be careful. If something doesn't feel right, leave quickly." Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't have time to explain anything. Lu Jian hurriedly walked ahead, and soon he was far away from them. Lu Jian thought about it and said, "You guys are digging for pearls. I am following Dr. Zhang. I can't let the doctor be in danger." Lu Jian put his thoughts away and hurriedly followed Zhang Xiaoxiao. The further in, Lu Jian looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao more and more. The place was connected in all directions and crisscrossed. When passing some forks, Dr. Zhang didn't even pause and didn't seem to worry about taking the wrong turn. Along the way here, Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't look sideways, seemingly turning a blind eye to the splendid palaces, and came straight here. If there was nothing to attract her, he wouldn't believe it even to death. The further you go in, the hotter the feeling becomes. The steam was steaming, and Lu Jian already felt that the heat was unbearable. The boots on the ground could feel the heat seeping into them. Lu Jian fanned his face with his clothes and was sweating profusely. Seeing Zhang Xiaoxiao who was so refreshed, he felt a little sad. "I don't seem to be overheated." Zhang Xiaoxiao stretched out his hand. Lu Jian saw a pill. "Eat it, you will feel better." Lu Jian didn't talk nonsense. Dr. Zhang must have good things here. He can even get dragon crystals. He wouldn't believe it if he just rested and got nothing good. After eating it, I really felt like a stream of clear water was flowing through my body, driving away the heat. Lu Jian became even more happy. "Dr. Zhang, you are indeed amazing. Now you are not feeling hot at all." After a while, I saw a blazing fire burning at the end. The moment they walked out of the forest of stone tablets, Zhang Xiaoxiao and Lu Jian were shocked by the flames rushing towards them. There was a huge crater here. That's where the blazing flames came from. A large knife hangs in the crater. "Here's a knife." Zhang Xiaoxiao followed Lu Jian's voice and saw a huge crater with a height of more than 10 meters in front of him. A black knife hung across the crater, and the blade was repeatedly burned and tempered by the flames. On the sword are written 3 large characters: "God-cutting sword with flying dragons and phoenixes flowing with golden light." At this time, an accident happened, and 2 hair-thin red rays of light struck the 2 of them like lightning. Ah! The red light came so quickly and suddenly that neither Zhang Xiaoxiao nor Lu Jian could escape it. Attorney! The red light hit Lu Jian, and Lu Jian's body immediately burst into flames. He immediately fell to the ground and began to roll around, trying to extinguish the flames on his body. On Zhang Xiaoxiao's side, the moment the red light struck, he instinctively turned sideways and barely dodged the attack. Boom! When the red light touched the ground, raging flames suddenly burst into flames within a few meters. Zhang Xiaoxiao retreated quickly and exited the range of the flames. At this moment, a mist of water suddenly appeared in the sky and quickly condensed into dark clouds. Then a curtain of water quickly condensed above Lu Jian's head. Countless water splashes immediately poured down, and Lu Jian was drenched in an instant. The drowned rat's body's flames also went out. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 814. Chapter 814 Escape. Number 9 shouted anxiously, "Sister, number 10 is running away, hurry up and follow it." A red flame suddenly flew out from the crater, drew an arc, and disappeared instantly. "No 9, you are crazy, I don't want to go back." An angry voice roared, and the time and space in front of him seemed to be torn apart. Soon, Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't help but slumped forward, his eyes became dizzy, and the feeling of weightlessness came again. Lu Jian saw with his own eyes that Zhang Xiaoxiao fell headlong into the crater of the volcano. He fell directly into the crater. He had no time to do anything and just watched Zhang Xiaoxiao being engulfed in flames. Dr. Zhang! The shrill shouts resounded through the sky. Zhang Xiaoxiao opened his eyes. Now she has a new look, her cloak, mask, and dagger are all gone. His long hair has been cut off and he has neat short hair. He wears a pair of flat glasses, carries a backpack, and wears simple clothes. To ordinary people, he looks like an ordinary college student. There is no brilliance about him. There is no information about the Red Flame battlefield. It seems like returning to your own world. Sister, I have no choice. I can only make some changes for you. This place is the West City. This is a closed alien world, almost parallel to your world. You are still Zhang Xiaoxiao. Number 10 is hiding here. You want look for clues yourself. By the way, the deceased MRS song was related to the people here. She had a life-saving grace for a family here. You can take advantage of it. I have transmitted the information to you, take advantage of it yourself. Number 9 was silent. It was exhausted. In order to catch up with number 10, it almost exhausted its own energy. Now it wants to take a rest. It will not be able to help Zhang Xiaoxiao in the short term. 3 days later, Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at herself. She was no longer Zhang Xiaoxiao, but had a new identity, Fan Xiao. 25 years old, a graduate student at a medical university, here for internship. Zixi, this city with an altitude of 2,000 meters, is the most prosperous city here. Zhang Xiaoxiao, that's not right. Fan Xiao carried his backpack and went directly to the busiest street here. She has rented a house here. You can rent a nice room for 50 yuan. Although it is a bungalow, it is a private house with a kitchen and toilet outside the 2 rooms. It is a very good thing that you don't have to share the public toilet with others. And the owner of the house is an old lady. It is said that her son and daughter are all working in other places, leaving her alone here. The old lady is reluctant to leave the place where she grew up, so she would rather live here alone than leave her hometown. The arrival of Zhang Xiaoxiao naturally made the old lady very happy. The old lady was very enthusiastic and helped Zhang Xiaoxiao find her own brand new bedding and lend it to Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao also has to thank the old lady very much. The help provided to you by a stranger is the greatest warmth. Zhang Xiaoxiao specifically asked the old lady where she was going at night. When the old lady heard that she was going to Yaoshin Street, she enthusiastically introduced her to the location of Yaoshin Street. In fact, Yaoshin Street was not far from here. It takes about half an hour by car. Zhang Xiaoxiao is leaving today. Taking the jade pendant, she went directly to the huge signboard of Yaoshin Street. Under the dazzling sunshine, Yaoshin Street looks as beautiful as a fairyland. The whole street is a commercial street, full of people of all kinds. There are actually many bearded foreigners with blonde hair and blue eyes, and of course there are veiled women. Zhang Xiaoxiao is a little surprised. He didn't expect that this place is so tolerant. Many cultures come to a small facade. Too small. Zhang Xiaoxiao would have thought that he had gone to the wrong door if he had not confirmed it repeatedly. This is also for business. The small facade can only accommodate one person. There is an antique wooden counter, with only a cabinet behind the counter and a few drawers on top, exuding a faint medicinal fragrance. There is only one wooden chair in front of the wooden counter. Behind the counter, a young man is leaning on the counter with his feet up, his face buried behind a beauty pictorial, reading with gusto. Zhang Xiaoxiao muttered, "Is this the Hao family?" It's not because of the unfilial piety of the descendants that the Hao family has declined to this point. but it has to be done even if it doesn't work. The only person I have access to is this jade pendant from the Hao family. Whether you can get in and get in touch with those famous families in the ancient medical world depends on the Hao family. Number 9 told her that even if he and number 10 merged, some kind of medicine would be needed to nourish and awaken Song Moding at the same time. That is the rejuvenation pill. This world is not the future, but it is a world with powerful ancient medical skills. The ancient medicine here is not the same as the ancient medicine in Zhang Xiaoxiu's apocalyptic world. They are ancient doctors through and through. An ancient doctor from a family of traditional Chinese medicine. Before Zhang Xiaoxiao could walk over to say hello, a white-haired old man walked over and bumped into Zhang Xiaoxiao. Then he fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth. 4 or 5 tall men came out and surrounded Zhang Xiaoxiao aggressively. Zhang Xiaoxian's heart sank. What are you doing? What are you doing? You hit my master. Didn't you see how old my master is? Pay for it? Pay for it immediately. A bald man stared at Zhang Xiaoxiao with a ferocious tone, and stretched out a hand. The other 4 men also agreed. Girl, what should I do? Pay the money, my uncle will be sent to the hospital. Zhang Xiaoxiao wanted to smile. I encountered something like this on the first day I came here. Whoever asked me to carry a backpack made me look like a tourist from out of town. These people obviously liked me, a little girl from out of town, and they didn't dare to say anything and couldn't afford to offend her. Although the old man was foaming at the mouth, his breathing was steady. It was obvious that someone wanted to touch the porcelain. Then how much compensation are you going to ask me to pay? Zhang Xiaoxiao also wanted to see how much it would cost. 5,000. Zhang Xiaoxiao was really happy this time. 5,000. The lion opened its mouth wide. 5,000, are you sure? Zhang Xiaoxiao's question obviously made people unhappy. It's 5,000. Don't think we are blackmailing you. See for yourself that my uncle is so old and has bad legs and feet. If he was hit by your strong body, he would definitely have fractures and cerebral hemorrhage. 5,000 can't stop this. Yes, we are kind-hearted and don't want to blackmail anyone. Otherwise, ask me, what can I do if I spend 5,000 yuan in the hospital? The bald man looked like he was a kind person, making him laugh to death. Zhang Xiaoxiao stepped forward. She didn't cause trouble, but she couldn't be blackmailed when she came. Died before leaving the army. That's right, the old man is weak and should take a good look at him, just in case anything happens to him. Hey, little girl, you have a conscience. You must take a good look at it at such an old age. 5,000 is really not much, so take the money. Hey, what are you doing? I saw Zhang Xiaoxiao scrubbing with his hands and feet, and the beard of the old man on the ground was torn off. When he took off his hat, his beard was torn off, and the hood on his head was grabbed by Zhang Xiaoxiao. The onlookers were dumbfounded. Ha ha! Young man, you are so unkind, you are so young and you are doing something wrong. This is not an embarrassment to our West City. You have hands and feet, how can you blackmail a little girl? Almost everyone started to criticize. A young man showed his true face in front of him. Get up from the ground. A look of embarrassment and anger. What are you doing? Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the young man with a half smile but not a smile. Don't think she didn't notice. The bald man looked menacing, but the one on the ground was the one who made the decision. This man is the leader of this group of people. What can I do? Old man, I just want to help you. Now that I see that you are full of energy, standing like a carp, and in good health, I feel relieved. You don't even need 50 cents for this. Zhang Xiaoxiao stood up and prepared to leave. The young man stretched out his hand to stop Zhang Xiaoxiao. Little girl, if I let you go like this, how can I, Fan Jingkui, still behave? Zhang had a small meal. Is this going to be solved by force? Looking back, he looked at Fan Jingkui quietly. Fan Jingkui trembled inwardly when he saw her. What kind of look did this woman have? Why are you so frightened? Clenched his teeth and clenched his fists. If you don't leave the money for me today, you can never leave. 500. It doesn't make sense for me to pay 5,000, but 500 is still acceptable. Zhang Xiaoxiao pursed his lips and said, brother, there's not a cent. It also encourages unhealthy tendencies. With so many people watching, is it possible that this man dared to commit murder in public? Number 9 said that although this is a Sanjia area, there is still rule of law. I heard that the Medicine God Society is the manager of this place. The rule of law is quite advanced and it is said to emphasize freedom, democracy, equality, and harmony. If you don't believe it, no one will care. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 815. Chapter 815. What a collision. Little girl, do you believe that our brothers beat you all over the place? Fan Jingkui threatened fiercely, this woman is really unscrupulous. Don't force yourself to do it. He said he would not hit women. But what should I do with my brother-in-law's legs if I don't have money? The hospital is still waiting for money. The doctor said the minimum is 500. This is the bottom line. Although he shouldn't hit women, he could kill someone at this time. His eldest sister has been gone for so many years, and it was his brother-in-law who raised him and Xiao Yi like a son. Now that something like this happened, he would not let anything happen to his brother-in-law. You are good at beating people, but I am not good at it, but I am good at cleaning people up, but you are not good at it. It is said that it is late and that it is fast. Zhang Xiao's little fingers were flying at an extremely fast speed. I saw Fan Jingkui in front of me, blocking Zhang Xiaoxiao's arm from being removed. Fan Jingkui couldn't react at all, and then his face was twisted in pain. You. He looked at it and said angrily, if you dare to bully my eldest brother, deal with her. Zhang Xiaoxiao's face darkened. He didn't know how to fight, so he only learned a few moves. It is quite similar to Chen Yaojin. The secret will be revealed as time goes by. But if someone comes to your door now, if you don't shock yourself, you may not know how many people will come to your door in the future. This time she showed her hand on purpose. There will be trouble later. In the blink of an eye. Several people lay down. What did you do to them? Although Fan Jingkui was in pain, he knew that his arm had been removed. It's not that he was disabled, but Dahe's faces were twisted in obvious pain. Different from myself. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled slightly, I'm just giving you a small punishment. It hurts, but it won't kill you. If you dare to touch porcelain in broad daylight, you should receive a lesson. Looking at their proficiency, these people must have done this kind of thing before. Fan Jingkui had no choice but to encounter a tough problem today. This is like not biting off a piece of meat, but having a tooth knocked out. What should I do with my brother-in-law's medical expenses? Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the front door, it should be here. Before he could walk in, a car suddenly stopped beside him, and the screeching sound of brakes shocked everyone. Zhang Xiaoxiao was speechless, what are you doing? I don't know anyone, I look like a foreigner, are you addicted to bullying? Again. Clench your fists, you can only barely get enough strength, and it is a matter of skill to obtain it. If a fight really breaks out, you will not be your opponent. It can't all be solved with fists. It's really a headache. There are no such thing as bodyguards. Monkey Yuli and the others did not follow me here. Having just arrived, I haven't even found a foothold yet, let alone finding MRS how. It's not convenient for me to use all my means. Once you get all your trump cards, you don't know what you will encounter in the future. Zhang Xiaoxiao frowned secretly. Fan Jingkui was secretly happy. This car looks like it belongs to a wealthy owner, and its arrogant attitude makes him look like a prodigal. It's good to be a prodigal. All prodigal sons have money. Looking at this posture, he must be dealing with that woman. Can I get a favor? While the man was getting out of the car, he walked up to Zhang Xiaoxiao. Sister, let's discuss it. I see that this person is here to cause trouble for you. How about we help each other clean up? Fan Jingkui, damn, don't be so aggrieved. I have never been so aggrieved in my life. I am extremely powerful, and I rely on this to make a living. Now I have encountered the south wall, and my head was broken and bloody. You have to talk down to others. It's too difficult to be a human being. Zhang Xiaoxiao is curious, what does this person think? The circuitry of the brain is really strange. How to help? You put our arms back, we brothers take the opportunity to flirt with each other, and then create opportunities for you, and you run away. Hello, me, everyone, how about it? The pain in his arm was excruciating, and Fan Jingkui was afraid that something might happen to him. Zhang Xiaoxiao moved his hand without saying much. He pulled and pushed, and Fan Jingkui was in pain for a moment, and then it stopped hurting. Click a few times. There are 4 people on the ground who are not crying like ghosts or howling like wolves. Look at me one by one. Let me look at you. Stand up, patted the dirt on his body, and stood behind Fan Jingkui. What should we do now? Get rid of this woman. Xiaoli, why are you here? The man in front of the door who looked decadent just now came out with a smile on his face and looked at the woman lovingly. The woman pushed the man away impatiently. Come on, what do you smell like? Hold his nose with a look of disgust. Zhang Xiaoxiao stood aside, as if he was not causing trouble for himself. In an instant, you can become an audience watching the excitement. It doesn't smell like anything, it's hot, maybe it's time to take a shower. Who is this? Hao's Higang looked at the short, fat man holding his girlfriend with a big hand, his face flushed, and he was slapped in the face in the street. His own woman and other men are flirting with each other in front of him, and they really don't have any dignity at all. Hao's Higang asked fiercely. Hao's Higang, this is my boyfriend. I'm here to tell you that we broke up. Zhang Xiaoxiao let out a heartless laugh. Attracted a lot of people's attention. There is also the woman's angry gaze. He put away his smile and said, you guys keep going. Keep going. Fan Jingkui scolded Zhang Xiaoxiao, don't you know me? Zhang Xiaoxiao was speechless and didn't know what Fan Jingkui was thinking, that he could actually turn a feud into friendship with him. This world I don't know much about. The world is moving so fast that she can't keep up. She laughed because the plot was so familiar, and it did not smell like the familiar routines of later internet novels. Don't bully young people into being poor or anything like that. As expected, Hao's Higang was furious. Xiaoli, what did you say? I've treated you with all my heart and soul in the past 5 years. Hao's Higang, paid for all your college expenses. Now you want to break up with me? Are you worthy of me? The woman named Xiaoli had a look of disgust on her face, and the man hugging her smiled arrogantly. Hao's Higang. Are you still a man? How much did I spend on you in those 5 years? It's only 50,000 or 60,000 yuan in full. You have delayed my youth and wasted my time. I haven't even asked you for youth loss compensation. It's enough for you to snicker, but you still dare to speak so brazenly. I broke up with you because you are too hopeless. A 30-year-old man spends all day guarding a shabby shop in a backwater. What can you give me? I know how to save money by following you all day long, but by following Fat Brother, he can afford me a house and a car. You can? A poor man. I am informing you, not discussing with you. Hao's Higang, we broke up. Xiao Li was arrogant, and Hao's Higang was so angry at women. It was his fault, but when the Hao family was prosperous, why didn't Xiao Li say there was no future for him? Now it is obvious that he has found a rich man, deliberately showing off and stimulating himself. How much hatred is this, and he deliberately came to his door to embarrass him. Okay, get out of here, you're a money-loving girl who thinks I'm rare if you want a but no butt, and if you want but no breasts, I've long been tired of it short fat man, if you like it, take it away quickly. Xiao Li's face was not good. Hao Zhigang had always held her in his hands like a treasure before, but now he actually said such words as soon as he turned his face. It's so hurtful. Mainly because of that fat man's look. Do you also despise yourself? Hao Zhigang, you bastard, I won't be unjust if you are unkind. This is 300 yuan. Just treat it as a good deed for me every day. You are old, have a bad mouth, and have no money. You deserve to be unable to find a girlfriend. Hao Zhigang, you are expected to be a bachelor for the rest of your life. Xiao Li's words are vicious and attack the most important thing in a man. Hao Zhigang's face turned dark when everyone laughed at him. But he actually had no power to fight back. He is just poor. How can a small-time face in this place not be poor? Being so humiliated by a woman and watched by so many people, Hao Zhigang felt like he wanted to die. Are you yourself or a man? Xiao Li arrogantly threw down 3 bills and swayed her arm around the fat man to get into the car. The car started and Fan Jingkui became anxious. This is bright banknotes. The figure shook, Fan Jingkui's chest hurt, his vision went dark, and he was dumbfounded before falling into coma. He was really just trying to get something wrong, and he didn't want to risk his own life. How come this fat guy doesn't follow the rules? Whoever starts the car can do 120 miles. Knock him over properly. Everyone was in an uproar. The fat man was also frightened and got out of the car in a hurry. Zhang Xiaoxiao pounced on him, and Fan Jingkui broke 3 ribs. The problem was internal bleeding. This is life-threatening. Call an ambulance quickly. Zhang Xiaoxiao shouted at Fan Jingkui's subordinates. Several of the men looked at each other and said, I can't do it. Brother is measured. Looks like it's really real this time. The acting is too realistic. Crying, he rushed towards me, brother, what's wrong with you? The other 3 grabbed the fat man by the collar. Give my eldest brother his life. Kill to pay for life, dead to pay for money. Damn fat man, my eldest brother was killed by you. This is their routine. Familiar routine, same recipe. The fat man went from being stunned to realizing it, with a look of disgust on his face, asshole. You still dare to fight with me, Fatty Zhang. You are so brave. I tell you that I am Zhang Shayaji's cousin. Do you still want money? The 4 of them were shocked. Zhang Shayaji? Why are you so unlucky today? Every one of them is a thorn in the side. Zhang Shayaji is a doctor of the local Medicine God Association, the Xiaodong family of Zhangjia Hospital, and 8 local doctors, Gu, Wu, Li, Zhao, Sun, Lu, Feng, and Zhang. These 8 people control the Medicine God Association and local resources. Who I can afford it? The 4 people all ducked to the side. They can definitely beat them, but it's a pity that they can't be provoked. Fatty Zhang took a sip of disdain and drove away. The 4 of them shook Fan Jingkui on the ground, brother. That fat guy is gone. Get up quickly. Brother, stop pretending. Big brother. Looking at the blood at the corner of Fan Jingkui's mouth, the 4 of them panicked. They really didn't expect this to happen. What a collision. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 816. Chapter 816 looks a lot like my great-grandmother's jade pendant. The four of them wanted to cry but had no tears. What should I do? Zhang Xiaoxiao almost wanted to curse. Even if this is the case, what should I do? Send to the hospital. Can't help it? I just can't help it. Is this still a human being? The four heads shook like drums. Sister, it's not that we don't want to give it away, we have no money. The four people looked embarrassed. Then send him to the hospital first. You go back to raise money, can't you just watch him die? Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't know what these people were thinking. Shouldn't they save people quickly? When other people saw this, they left early and dispersed. No one showed any enthusiasm for saving people. Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly felt that Gui was weird. The people in this place seemed to be very indifferent and had no respect for human life. Have you come to the wrong place? What kind of medicine god association is there just like this? The of medicine is a piece of shit. Zhang Xiaoxiao helped the man up and said, you two, come here and find a stretcher to carry him to the hospital. Sister, it's not that we don't want to, it's that the hospital doesn't accept patients like this. The hospital doesn't accept patients if they don't have money. The four people looked worried, but remained unmoved. How is that possible? The hospital is for treating illnesses and saving lives. It is a place where saving lives and healing the wounded can be accommodating. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't believe it. He had worked in the hospital for so many years, and the current hospital would not be like the future generations. He would not dare to enter the hospital without money. Even if it is the future generations. It is also based on the purpose of treating patients and saving people. Even if they know that there is a possibility of defaulting on medical bills, the hospital will keep an account. Debt and bad debts are specifically for these patients who cannot afford medicine. Sister, we are really not lying. The hospital here refuses to let you in without paying. It's better to take him home. I will try to find a way to buy 2 pills to remove blood stasis from Brother Bao. It shouldn't kill anyone. The curly-haired man gave the idea. Others nodded. He can prepare for his funeral after taking the Huayu pills like this. A voice interrupted. Others stared and dared to curse their elder brother. They usually take Huayu pills when they get injured in fights, and it's fine. You're talking nonsense. Curly Hair was anxious, his eyes were red, and he wanted to go up and punch Hao's Higang. Hao's Higang felt Fan Jingkui's pulse, and it was still normal. 3 of his ribs are broken, and 1 of them pierced his spleen. Let him take your Huayu pills. I guarantee he will burp tonight. Withdraw your hand. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at Hao's Higang unexpectedly and saw 2 brushes. It seems that he is indeed the descendant of the Hao family that he is looking for. I just don't know how the Hao family ended up in this situation. What should I do? You can cure diseases, please. Brother, please save my brother. Please. Even if we are forced to act like cattle and horses, killing people and setting fires, as long as you save him, we will agree. The curly hair 4 really begged Hao's Higang. There was really nothing they could do. I have no money and cannot afford to go to the hospital. If the Huayu pills are useless, I will be dead. Hao's Higang shook his head indifferently, with a sneer on his face. Don't expect me, didn't you hear what that woman said? I'm just a loser. I only know the basics. I can see this disease. But if you ask me to cure it, it can't be cured. It's useless to beg me. If I can cure the disease, can you still squat here? Hao's Higang pointed to his own front door. Then he looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao with starry eyes. Sister, you are very skilled. You can tell that you know what you are doing. Are you a medicine buyer? I have everything here. The most famous one is the beauty pill, which can keep you young and beautiful forever. Why don't you try 2 pills? This is the rhythm of big business coming to your door. Perhaps I can start my own business today through this. Zhang Xiaoxiao ignored him and took out the money, here's 5,000 yuan. Take it and send him to the hospital. It's important to save people. The four people in curly hair burst into tears. Who is Zhang Xiaoxiao? The person they just touched with a broken head is now taking the initiative to give money. This is life-saving. Benefactor, don't worry. We will definitely come back to repay our kindness. Today we will pay you what we owe you. After making a solemn promise, Curly and four others carried Fan Jingkui away. Hao Zhigang looked at it and was embarrassed. Muttered in a low voice, "You are so sick. Are there still such kind-hearted people in the world?" Zhang Xiaoxiao turned to look at Hao Zhigang. Hao Zhigang felt uncomfortable being looked at and secretly tidied up his appearance. Looking at an idol with an expression of worship. Miss. This title is really not good, and this pronoun is not a good word in this era. You should call me sister. Hao Zhigang smiled hurriedly and said, "Sister, look at my bad mouth, what kind of young lady? Even the eldest sister can't do it. You look younger than me, but the younger sister is better. Can the younger sister do it?" With his smooth tongue, he looks like an old fritter at first glance. "My name is Fan Xiao. Sister Fan. Do you want something? I have everything here. I took the Wuji Beifeng pills for beauty, which will make your noodles look like peach blossoms. There are also Xiaoao pills, Liao Wei Dai Huang pills, and Ningshen Ninki pills. Sister, what else do you want? I have them all." When I said this, I felt slightly lacking in confidence. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at this appearance and said, "Boss, what is your surname?" "My surname is Hao. If you can't be a boss, just call me Brother Hao. I see my sister is so good today, she looks like she has practiced. Why did she come to this remote place like ours? She came here to play, or to find someone." Hao Zhigang had a smile on his face. Same as the weasel who saw the old hen. Having opened the door and not done any business yet, this person looks like he is from out of town. The locals have their own special signs. This person doesn't have it at first glance. That's why those people came here. Rabbits don't eat grass near their nests. The people here do not harm their own people. This is the rule. Otherwise, the Medicine God Association will ask you to learn the rules. No one can violate the rules of the Medicine God Association. The association's police officers are not vegetarians. It is also a matter of seeking truth from facts. But there are still some differences when dealing with outsiders. Brother Hao, find someone. Hao Zhigang felt a chill in his heart. 9 out of 10 people who came to their place were looking for someone to find medicine. Those who are in the know will naturally know. This is a geomantic treasure land for them. There are not many people looking for people. Do you dare to go to the West Market to look for people? Hee. You're not a troublemaker, are you? Sister, who are you looking for? Tell me, maybe my brother knows you. It's not him who is looking for him anyway. The Hao family is a small family, so no one can look for him. I didn't see the girl being so powerful. This is an ancestor who collects debts. Look for his master. Zhang Xiaoxiao took out the jade pendant and placed it on the counter. Hao Zhigang's expression changed, his buttocks that had just been sitting firmly jumped up, and the chair under his feet was kicked down. A series of sounds sounded. It's so embarrassing. Hao Zhigang picked up the jade pendant and took a closer look. It looked like it was the jade pendant of his ancestor. Grandma's. I knew I wouldn't go out today. Do you know it? Zhang Xiaoxiao asked jokingly. Do not know. Hao Zhigang shook his head vigorously, as if in this way he could win people's trust, and his expression returned to normal instantly. Old ancestor, you killed people. Forgot the rules? Zhang Xiaoxiao picked up the jade pendant and left. Hao Zhigang hurriedly jumped out of the counter and stopped the person. This person looked difficult to deal with. Girl, Where are you going? Dry questioning. You don't know. I'm going to find the master I know. The owner of the jade pendant said he would take the jade pendant to repay his kindness, but now it seems that some people are ready to be ungrateful. I have to find a place to comment. You are so small, but you still pretend to be yourself. Hao Zhigang hurriedly stopped him. Wait a minute, let me take a look again, maybe I saw it wrong. Hand over the jade pendant, show off for a while, and then suddenly realize. Sister, the more I look at it, the more familiar it becomes. It's actually my great-grandmother's jade pendant. How is that possible? My great-grandmother's jade pendant has always been kept at home. I thought it was similar, but I didn't expect it to be true. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled. Really capable of editing. Boss Hao, I want to meet your great-grandmother. Grandma too, at what age did Ms. Hao get married and have children? This person looks older than me, so I call her grandma. Wait a minute, I'll close the stall, and we'll go back together. It doesn't matter if you don't accept it. It's obvious that the person in front of you came to the door. Grandma said that if someone comes with a jade pendant, they must treat them well. He is the benefactor of their family. It's not that he doesn't want to admit it. Means it is inappropriate to think about it. The house is a complete mess. Since being ordered to close down for rectification by the Medicine God Association, several of his pharmacies have closed down, and now only such a small shop can survive. When a benefactor comes, their family has no way to repay the favor. Hao Ji wanted to shirk just now. Now it seems that I can't shirk it. The door was locked, and a small motorcycle took Zhang Xiaoxiao straight to the city. After leaving Yaoshin Street, there were many high-rise buildings outside. Zhang Xiaoxiao had never been to the West Market, but he did not expect that a city that should be a remote city was actually more prosperous than the Magic City. There are many high-rise buildings and the streets are full of luxury cars. You must know that even in the Magic City of Kyoto, the streets can't be filled with luxury cars now. This is where I am. At first glance, he looks very arrogant. Zhang Xiaoxiao guessed that this place naturally has its own natural laws. You should still be careful yourself. Watching the motorcycle pass through high-end residences, the houses on both sides of the road slowly began to look different. The dilapidated buildings indicate that this is a slum area. I feel puzzled. Grandma said that Ms. Hao seemed to have an extraordinary background at the beginning, but now she has fallen into such a decline over the past few decades. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 817. Chapter 817, Cheating the Great-Grandson. The motorcycle drove for more than an hour, and the two finally arrived. Just now, it seemed that this area was still an ordinary residential area, but after driving the motorcycle for another half an hour, they now reached the area. It is obviously dirty, dilapidated, messy, and complex, and it does not even belong to an ordinary residential area. There are dozens of families living in almost a large courtyard. When Hao Zhigang's motorcycle stopped, the man and woman picking vegetables immediately looked up while sitting in the courtyard doing laundry. Ouch, Xiao Hao, who are you bringing back? You're bringing your girlfriend back. Your grandma has been hoping that you can get a wife as soon as possible. Is it possible that you are meeting your parents today? Hao Zhigang smiled so shamelessly. Aunt Meng, you have been worrying too much all day long. Where is my great-grandma? Didn't you bask in the sun in the yard today? Looking around, I didn't see any sign of my great-grandmother. Aunt Meng smiled and was not angry. She seemed to get along well with her neighbors. Your uncle is here, go and have a look. I've been worried that your grandma would suffer, but the two of them closed the door and didn't let anyone else in, and they didn't hear anything. Aunt Meng whispered to him. Upon hearing this, Hao Zhigang hurriedly called to Zhang Xiaoxiao, Sister, come with me. Hurrying to a room at the corner of the yard, I reached out and pushed the door open, but the door was locked from the inside. Grandma, Grandma, I'm back, please open the door. Hao Zhigang was anxious. My uncle is not a good person. Last time he fainted and was hospitalized because of the shop. Will he make my grandma very angry again this time? The door opened suddenly. Hao Zhigang knocked on the door and almost hit the man in front of him in the face. It was his uncle's disgusting face. Uncle. Even if he hates the man in front of him in his heart, he is still his elder, so he must be called uncle. What are you doing with all this buzzing? How old are you? The uncle gave him a roll of his eyes and turned around to go in without even looking at Zhang Xiaoxiao. Hao Zhigang gave Zhang Xiaoxiao a wink and went in by himself. Zhang Xiaoxiao also followed. This family is really strange. These are those reclusive families. People in the ancient medical field are no different from ordinary people outside. The house is not big. As soon as you enter the door, there is a living room with sofas. It is very clean and gives people a very refreshing feeling. Although it doesn't look very luxurious, it is simple yet elegant. A woman wearing a cheongsam was sitting on the sofa. She looked to be in her 40s at most, and she didn't even have silver hair on her temples. He has picturesque eyebrows, sharp eyes, and a modest smile. Very pleasant, a kind of good feeling that makes people want to get close. The uncle was sitting opposite the woman, and they looked very different in age. Looking at the room again, Zhang Xiaoxiao was confused and saw no one else. Could it be that? Hao Zhigang directly revealed the answer. Step forward and shout to the woman. Grandma, you are not in good health. The doctor told you to rest more, but you disobey. What if you are hospitalized? Hao Zhigang's affectionate scolding of the old lady made people feel a hint of protection. Zhang Xiaoxiao's surprised look made the woman smile. Hans, children, come and sit. The uncle looked impatient. Grandma, think about what I said. If the Wang family wants the recipe for the beauty pill, just give it to them. Now the Hao family is in dire straits and they can't hold on anymore. You don't have the ability to make the beauty pill at home. Those we can't get the materials together, so we might as well sell it to the Wang family as a favor. The Wang family has promised to give us 2 shops on the main street of Yaoshin Street as reward. Our prescriptions will not be in vain. Think about Jiangguo and the others, they are all your great-grandsons. Life is difficult at home now, and we living people cannot just stick to that dead recipe and starve to death. The tone was urgent, with a hint of coercion. The old lady looked at her grandson. This was the eldest grandson and the inheritance of their Hao family. He is also the successor who he had high hopes for. Now it has become such a thing. For a little profit, I came up with the idea of the secret recipe left by my ancestors. She couldn't make the beauty pill, but that didn't mean that the Hao family was in decline. Small vision, small mind, only caring about immediate interests. Stop talking, I don't agree with this matter. The recipe is in my head. Whoever has the ability to poach it from my brain, if you don't have the ability, it will be your life if you just eat bran. Uncle Hao snorted and stood up. Grandma, don't blame us for being rude. The secret recipe was passed down from the ancestors of the Hao family and is passed on to the descendants of the Hao family. You are at best the person in charge. Logically, the recipe should be passed on to me. There is nothing you can do if you don't give it to me. But the shop at home belongs to our Hao family, and the real estate certificate is in my great-grandfather's name. If you don't give it to me, I can only take the shop back. You cannot watch your grandchildren starve to death. Hao Zhigang said angrily, Uncle. When we split up the shop, we agreed that it would be for my father. Why don't you keep your word now? When the family was separated, the eldest uncle and the second uncle seized the 3 best shops in the family, leaving this small and remote shop to their father. Now they are still trying to rob it? Is it what people say? His parents are not here, but his great-grandmother, and he can barely make a living by relying on this shop. Without the shop, they go to drink the northwest wind? Uncle Hao sneered, then let's see what your great-grandmother means. We can't survive, so naturally we have to find a way. That shop is my father's name, not your family's private property. You'd better advise your great-grandmother to be more open-minded. Guarding those dead things is of no use and cannot be used as food. Get up and leave. Slammed the door so hard that the glass on the door almost broke. Hao Zhigang's face turned green with anger. Asshole! Kick the corner pillar hard. Child, who are you? Ms. Hao spoke, her voice soft, as gentle as dripping water, more like the soft Wuyan of Jiangnan, and everyone who listened calmed down. Hao Zhigang finally realized that Zhang Xiaoxiao was still here. Grandma, this is Fan Xiao, she is here to see you. Took out the jade pendant in his arms and handed it to the old lady. The woman in front of me immediately became excited when she saw the jade pendant. Took it over and looked at it carefully. Then he looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao with eyes filled with excitement. I thought I would never see it in this life, but I didn't expect it to be sent back. I promised that I would repay my kindness. Who are you from Ame? Granddaughter. Zhang Xiaoxiao shook his head, I'm not. I was also entrusted by Grandma. What should I call you? Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't know whether he should be called Mrs. Song's backup or Hao Zhigang's seniority. The old lady smiled. Child, call me Grandma. Hao Zhigang's face darkened, he was a generation shorter than others. My grandma is too unreliable and doesn't see myself. You are cheating your great-grandson. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 818. Chapter 818 Medicine God Association. Grandma, is there something wrong at home? Looking at how destitute his family was, Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that he had come at the wrong time. Old Mrs. Hao smiled and said, it's okay. What do you want to do here? I said at the beginning that as long as Ame's descendants hold this jade pendant, I can promise one thing, as long as it is within my ability. But now you have also seen that Grandma is not in a good situation, I am afraid I will disappoint you. The clouds are light and the wind is very light. The old man was not at all embarrassed by his embarrassment. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled, Grandma, my grandma can't let me come unless it's a last resort. We need the restoring pill. As soon as these words came out, there was a clang, and the teacup in Hao Zhigang's hand fell to the ground and broke into pieces. How dare you say that? The old lady glared at her great-grandson angrily, what are you doing? You don't even know how to treat guests. Hao Zhigang apologized, I'm sorry, Grandma. I just think this girl is so open-minded that she wants to return the magic pill. Do you know what the magic pill means? The magic pill is a treasure that even gods can't get. You want it with just your mouth. Our temple is small and cannot accommodate a big Buddha like you. Call aunt. The old lady scolded. Hao Zhigang is about to cry but has no tears. Grandma, are you really going to find an elder for me? You don't even look at someone her age who is my sister, and you want me to call her aunt. I can't call her aunt. He turned around and gave Zhang Xiaoxiao a slap on his back. My great-grandson has such a temper. He speaks too straightforwardly. Don't mind. Zhang Xiaoxiao doesn't care, is this person still straightforward? Hao Zhigang is a cunning but straightforward person. It seems that his great-grandmother misunderstood the word straightforward. This rejuvenation pill is really rare, as my nephew said. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to give me the rejuvenation pill, I just want you to help me with how to get the rejuvenation pill. The important people in my family have been unconscious after being burned inexplicably, and they have been in a coma. Various methods have been tried, but now there are no ways to doctors. The doctor said that his current condition is neither a vegetative state nor any other condition. It is a condition that is difficult to explain clearly, and there is a large amount of certain germs accumulated in the body, which is difficult to control with any medicine. Grandma said that the only hope that can wake him up now is probably this recovery pill. The child's recovery pill is indeed like its name, since it is called the rejuvenation pill. It means a medicine that can even bring back immortality. It is the most powerful in the ancient medical world. Speaking of the ancient medical world, your grandma, since if I dare to let you come over, I will naturally tell you some truth about the matter. We here belong to the oldest family that has inherited the ancient medical field. The place you came to is a place where no one cares. The descendants of the ancient medical community live here. Every generation of descendants of the ancient medical community begins to enter the outside world to learn medical skills and advanced knowledge and culture when they are 6 years old. When everyone reaches the age of 25, they have to return here to work for their family and learn the ancient medical skills and alchemy skills passed down by their families. You can also see that people here have developed lives, science and technology have advanced, and urban construction has even caught up. Many foreign countries. There is also order and rules here, and people must live according to order and rules. The maker of this order here is the Medicine God Association. The rejuvenation pill you want can only be produced by members of the Gu family, the most talented pharmacists in the Medicine God Association. This rejuvenation pill requires very complicated materials and ancient recipes, and the success rate is extremely low. We have only heard of it. This elixir is currently available but priceless. I heard that even the genius doctor of the Gu family can only produce one every 30 years. As you can imagine its value, every one has been reserved in advance. Secret families of dignitaries from all over the world are waiting in line. It is impossible for the rejuvenation pill to be released on the market. The rejuvenation pill you want is almost impossible. Even if you have money, you cannot buy it. Only then did Zhang Xiaoxiao realize that the rejuvenation pill was not as easy as imagined. Is there really no way? Zhang Xiaoxiao doesn't believe in evil. For Song Moding, she will try even if it is impossible. Hao Zhigang said angrily, yes, if you become the top doctor of the Medicine God Association, then you can have access to the secret recipe of the Hui Shen Dan. The prescription of the Hui Shen pill is not a secret in the Medicine God Association. The top elites in them, it's an open secret among doctors. It's because the Gu family hopes that more people can refine the rejuvenating pill. After all, it took 30 years for a rejuvenating pill to be released. In other words, every generation of the Gu family, every generation of elites, even if they are trained to the top, can only refine 2 to 3 recovery pills. And the Gu family has only a few heirs, and each generation is a solitary seedling. Therefore, after being exposed to the influence of advanced external culture, the people of the Gu family let go of the prescription. They welcome elite doctors to join in the work of refining the rejuvenating elixir. It's a pity that so far, these secret recipes are only available to the top doctors of the Medicine God Association. If you want to be capable, then go find Gu family yourself. If you become an elite doctor of the Medicine God Association, then you can meet the man of the Gu family and naturally talk about the God of Recovery pill. The old lady rolled her eyes at Hao Zhigang. What are you talking about? Who can join the Medicine God Association? Don't listen to his nonsense. Although everyone here wants to join the Medicine God Association in the ancient medical world. Of course, even elite doctors from major cities outside you, and even many doctors from abroad, have come here. Hope to join the Medicine God Association. You can learn more ancient formulas and many ancient advanced medical techniques here, but there are only a few who can enter the Medicine God Association, the elite among the elite. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew that he had been underestimated again. Even if you go back and study for another 20 or 30 years, you may not be able to enter the Medicine God Association. What's more, if you want to get in touch with every generation of inheritors of the Gu family, you must become the top elite of the Medicine God Association. Children, Some people never get to meet the heirs of the Gu family in their entire lives. Don't be too attached to this rejuvenation pill, think of other ways. In the case of the person you mentioned, it may be possible to try other medications. There is nothing else in our place, but some medicines made from ancient recipes are very powerful. You can also give it a try. Maybe you don't need the recovery pill and can still save people. The old lady thought of solutions from the bottom of her heart. Zhang Xiaoxiao also knew that he took things for granted. The Gu family seemed very tall and distinguished at first glance. You may not be able to solve the problem just by rushing to your door. It is better to really look at other medicines, as the old lady said. Not all experts are among the people. Besides, I should take this opportunity to get to know the Medicine God Association. When she had the chance, she went back to see what kind of organization the Medicine God Association was. Top doctors. Doesn't she count? She is really not sure about the specific level of her medical skills here. You can only observe slowly by yourself. Now that you are here, you cannot go back empty-handed. No matter how difficult it is, there is always a way to solve it. There is no obstacle that a person cannot overcome in his life. Once it comes, he will make peace with it. Zhang Xiaoxiao does not believe that he cannot overcome this obstacle with his own ability and accumulated so much experience. Aren't they just medical elites? She is not proficient in other things, but she is considered a talent in medicine. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 819. Chapter 819 Fang Ziyi. Zhang Xiaoxiao was arranged to stay at Hao's house that night. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the old lady lived in the same house, and the next door was Hao's Higang's room. There is no one else at home. However, from the old lady's conversation, I learned that the Hao family's current decline has only happened in the past 10 years. The Hao family's beauty pill is also the reason why the old lady can still have a pleasant appearance at such an old age. Naturally, it is also a medicine that many people are flocking to. How many men and women hope that they can stay beautiful forever, but the formula of the beauty pill requires very harsh drugs, and it must grow under certain extreme conditions, and the survival rate is also very low. This also resulted in high purchasing prices for medicinal materials. The Hao family offended people they shouldn't have offended because of their unworthy descendants. The family's shop was closed down due to renovations. This was also the reason why the Wang family decided against the old lady's plan to invest in Yandan. The Hao family does not have the ability or money to make it themselves. The price of Zuyandan is actually very high. After all, everyone loves beauty. But now we don't have the capital to do it, and if we don't sell it, the Hao family won't be able to turn over. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the old lady curiously, wondering if he would be beaten if he said this. I endured it for a long time. You know the rules yourself. You can say whatever you want. If you bake pancakes like this, my old lady will be so disturbed that she can't sleep. The old lady's voice came, and Zhang Xiaoxiao really felt apologetic. I'm sorry, Grandma, I disturbed you. It's okay. As we get older, no matter how young our face is, our body functions cannot be deceived and we feel less and less. What are you worried about? The old lady lay still, wondering what the little girl was thinking. She couldn't hold back the noise. Grandma, what's the prescription for your beauty pill? Can I see it? After a long moment of silence, Zhang Xiaoxiao understood that he had touched someone else's bottom line. Grandma, I'm just asking. It's okay. I understand the secret recipe. Naturally, it is a secret that is not passed down. I understand that our family also has a secret recipe, and it is not just for others to see. It's not like you're just a cabbage on the street, just showing it to people casually. Is that okay? Girl, go to sleep. No words all night. Early the next morning, Zhang Xiaoxiao woke up to the smell of rice. I got up to wash my face, only to find that the old lady had already gotten up and made breakfast. Simple white porridge, fried dough sticks and eggs. After breakfast, Hao Ji was just about to leave when he was stopped by the old lady. Zhigang, please close the door at noon and come back early. In the afternoon, take Xiao Xiao to walk around the streets. You have been working hard these days. In the evening, you can go to the medicine market and let Xiao Xiao see it. Take a look at what's on the drug market. Only then can she understand. There are some comparisons. Maybe she can find what she wants by asking. Hao Zhigang glanced at Zhang Xiaoxiao impatiently. Trouble. Got it, I'll come back early for dinner. Hits away on his motorcycle. That's what this kid is like. Don't look at his unforgiving words, but that's not what he thinks in his heart. The old lady is still covering up. Grandma, I know. I have something to ask for, and now I have to rely on the old lady and Hao Zhigang to guide me. I still don't know when I can find the medicine market by asking around. I heard that only families in the ancient medical field know about the medicine market here. Others outside have no one to guide them, and they will never find the way. The shops on the street sell high-end goods. Good medicine cannot be seen. Zhang Xiaoxiao put away the dishes and chopsticks, and when she returned to the room, she saw the old lady handing her a piece of paper. Zhang Xiaoxiao took a closer look and saw that there were several herbs on it, and they were still heavy. Detailed production methods. Surprised. Grandma, what is this? This is the prescription for Zuyan Dan. I can't help you with the help you asked for. The only way to repay is with this prescription. Anyway, our family is already like this. If I don't give it to you, this prescription may not be available to you in the future. It's not a good thing to disappear from my place and leave it to your descendants. They don't have the ability to keep it, and they can't do anything with this recipe. You can take a look if you want. I don't feel sorry for you, old lady, I'm just afraid it won't be of any use to you. The old lady's words made Zhang Xiaoxiao grateful, but he didn't know what to do. This old lady is really sincere, this is her secret recipe. Ancient medicine has been passed down and naturally has its own unique features. Just by looking at the words of the grandson of the old lady, you can tell that this recipe is also something that is hard to find for others. If you say it is for an outsider to see, just show it to an outsider. The main thing is mind. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't think that the old lady was fooling him with fake prescriptions. That's not necessary. She is not a descendant of ancient medicine. She can't understand the prescription at all, let alone know how to refine it, let alone what it is used for. The old lady was able to take it out so generously, maybe it was for this reason. Grandma, there are some things that cannot be said in words. Zhang Xiaoxiao has already written down this favor. I will definitely find a way to repay the old lady in the future, but saying it now seems a bit high-sounding and empty-handed. Child, don't say anything else to me. The old lady can't help you. The only thing she can do is to open your eyes. The old lady sighed. She probably made this recipe because she wanted to make it impossible to rebuild Tianri, but if she sold it to others, it would be absolutely impossible. Otherwise, it would be the ancestors of the Hao family who would be sorry. This recipe would rather be buried in the loess with me than give it to someone else for free. This is the old lady's bottom line. Pity. There are many medicinal materials in this recipe that are easy to find, but 10,000 years snow lotus is simply a rare thing. If it weren't for the rareness of this medicinal material, and the Hao family now has no financial support, she would not have planned to bury it. The Hao family can be regarded as ending in their own hands. The old lady sighed. I went back to my room alone and depressed. Zhang Xiaoxiao held the prescription and looked at it carefully for a long time. This recipe does not seem to be very subtle, and it must be closely related to the amount of heat used during refining. There are also thousands of snow lotuses, and you can tell they are tall and noble just by hearing their names. Zhang Xiaoxin suddenly moved. I don't know if I can give it a try. Want to join the Medicine God Association. Not only the medical skills, but also the refining of elixirs. However, I have studied Western medicine in my last life and this life. Although I have dabbled in Chinese medicine, it is not my specialty after all. If you want to stand out in the Medicine God Association, you will have to have some skills. What does Zhang Xiaoxiao want to do? Of course I have no intention of giving up. She wanted to see the recovery pill. Whether it works or not, you should definitely give it a try. This is also Zhang Xiaoxiao's plan. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought of this, and this recipe was naturally his first try. She is a doctor and a scholar who is proficient in research. Seeing these instincts, he wants to learn and has the energy not to admit defeat. Zhang Xiaoxiao was able to learn on his own and achieve success in his previous life. He is a person with great perseverance. How could you not want to do something? End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 820. Chapter 820 Sky High Price. Zhang Xiaoxiao has studied the prescriptions thoroughly and can even recite them backwards and forwards. Zhang Xiaoxiao took care of lunch by himself. The old lady was alone. At such an old age, Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't bear to let the old woman do it. A simple meal. Boiled fish, mapo tofu, cold spinach, stir-fried shredded potatoes. Hao's Higang was a little dumbfounded when he returned home and looked at the food on the table. In the end, I feel more comfortable. The little girl is quite sensible. After finishing the meal, Hao's Higang gave a thumbs up. In recent days, my great-grandmother's health has been getting worse day by day. Cooking is too difficult for Grandma Tai, but he is busy outside on weekdays. There is no time to take care of Grandma. Such colorful meals have not been eaten for a long time. This is home-cooked dishes. Naturally, those tastes sold on the street cannot be the same. He was quite unsatisfied with what he ate. He didn't notice that the old lady had eaten 2 bowls of rice today. Compared with her usual food intake, the old lady was very considerate today. Facing Zhang Xiaoxiao, he became even more friendly. And Fan. It's so hard to hold your breath, I'm just a generation shorter. It's all my fault, Grandma. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled and said, you should call me Xiaoxiao. Hao's Higang was even more pleased with Zhang Xiaoxiao. Since we have eaten and drank enough, I will take you to the street at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Although stalls are set up in this medicine market all day long, most people don't come out in the morning. That is to say, after 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, serious businessmen will come out. At that time, there was everything on the market. You could buy anything you wanted. There was nothing you couldn't buy except money you couldn't afford. How many people came here for this? The two of us set out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Zhang Xiaoxiao asked Hao's Higang specifically and brought a bank card. I am not considered rich, but I do have money in my bank card. Don't ask if the money can be used. Asking is to say yes to number 9. Number 9 also hopes that Zhang Xiaoxiao can buy the medicine he wants. They don't care about money. There are 500,000 in Cali. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't know where he got such a large amount of money. I think it was number 9 who caused the trouble. There are a few crystals missing anyway. She pestered the old lady and asked many questions this afternoon, of course about refining medicine. The old lady knew what the girl had in mind as soon as she heard the voice. However, the old lady did not hide it. She just smiled slightly and answered all questions without reservation. I know in my heart that if any layman can refine this medicine by word of mouth, then it cannot be called a secret recipe. The secret recipe naturally has its own unique secret in it. But even if I beat the old lady to death, I wouldn't be able to reveal the secret. Zhang Xiaoxiao naturally wanted to buy all the medicines on the prescription this time and come back to refine them himself. Of course, he was here to practice his skills. You also need to see if your own medical skills can be applied to this and whether there will be other effects. Zhang Xiaoxiao naturally had a plan in mind. Of course she can make medicine. Zhang Xiaoxiao can also make some Western medicine formulas by herself, but has never dabbled in Chinese medicine. This is why she needs to start from zero by this time. Following Hao Zhigang on the small motorcycle, the two of them came to the medicine market. It was already dark when they arrived. The two of them almost made it here with many twists and turns. If Zhang Xiaoxiao came here by himself, he would definitely not know. Antique buildings, half of the city is actually a medicine market. If she were passing by alone outside, the most likely reason is that this is some kind of garden building. The landscape left over from ancient times. There are strict guards guarding the door. Right? There were actually guards and weapons on them. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at them carefully and confirmed that they were real people. There is obviously no restriction against the use of weapons. But when entering, you need to provide a special magnetic card. Only then did Zhang Xiaoxiao understand that he would not be able to enter without Hao Zhigang leading the way. When you enter, you have to be scanned with an inspection machine, just like airplane security. Think about the level of rigor. The people queuing up at the door are very orderly. Whether they are men, women, old or young, well-dressed or ordinary dressed, everyone maintains a strict distance from each other. Everyone seems to be in a pious mood about entering. But it's different after entering. The world inside is no different from the wet market Zhang Xiaoxiao has seen. Right? It's the vegetable market. There was a lot of people, shouts and shouts of various prices, and you and I were coming and going to negotiate prices, and there were all kinds of down-to-earth small stalls. A piece of plastic sheet can be a stall, and a few medicinal materials with no names on it can be a stall. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt like he had entered another world. Hao Zhigang felt a little proud when he saw Zhang Xiaoxiao's eyes fixed on him. Little girl, open your eyes. Zhang Xiaoxiao saw at a glance that the stalls sold bottles of medicine. Each bottle is labeled with a name. Qingxin Dan, Giwen Dan, and Liawei Daihuang pills are all available. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at it wondering what the use of these drugs was. A Western doctor really doesn't know, it's mainly Giwen pill or something like that. Why does it sound so like a pill for cultivation or something, and is it given to patients? Is it possible that there is still a cultivator in this world? Little girl, this Giwen pill is a good thing. After taking it, I guarantee that you will eliminate the turbid substances, cleanse all the internal organs, and be full of vitality. Although it cannot cultivate immortality, it is of great benefit to people, especially those who want to practice martial arts. Achieving twice the result with half the effort. The price is absolutely fair, a bottle of 10 pills only costs 5,000 yuan. With 5,000 yuan, you can't be fooled or deceived. What you're buying is your health. Want a bottle? The stall owner had a big beard and looked eagerly at the little girl with shining eyes in his stall. 20 Lang Dang must be interested in body training and martial arts, otherwise he would look down on this Giwen pill. How could it be that when you meet such a person, 5,000 yuan may be a big deal, but it is difficult to buy him if you have money? Hope to meet a fool. Zhang Xiaoxiao pouted, 5,000 yuan? Hao Zhigang looked even more disdainful. Xiaoxiao, don't believe him. Why don't you go and grab it for 5,000 yuan? If you take the first level Giwen pill, you will fart twice at most. It will make your body feel better. Is it useful for farting? I still want 5,000 yuan. Who are you fooling? The bearded man knew it as soon as he heard the words. When he met an expert, his face changed and he looked like a ruffian. Since you are an expert, why are you doing this to cause trouble? Go, go, don't come here to trick me, I'm still doing business. This is to drive people away directly. Zhang Xiaoxiao stood up, and Hao Zhigang introduced this place to her. You can't see the elixir you want on the street stalls. The magic elixir you need that can truly cure diseases, save people, and bring people back to life has to be found in the shops over there. The shops there sell pills of level 5 or above. Is the real medicine worth $1,000? It is not impossible to find it in small stalls, but it is not worth much. If you need some medicinal materials, they are much cheaper at street stalls. But you must also keep your eyes open. The rules here are the same as those for antiques outside. You must buy it and leave it, and you are willing to admit defeat. If you buy fake medicine, you are not capable. You have to admit your defeat. Hao Zhigang's words made Zhang Xiaoxiao more and more curious. The rules of this world are really unbelievable. It is completely different from their principles of life. It really feels like the jungle of the jungle. Looking at the modern mobile phone, Zhang Xiaoxiao thought that he had arrived in their world. I really didn't expect that there is such a world in this humble place. End of this chapter.